Hey guys, welcome back to the Rock Pop YouTube channel, your #1 pit stop for all things Eurovision this year, and there is no stopping now as we carry on head first, going through all of the recently confirmed Eurovision entries, and today, that takes me to Armenia. That's right, we're still on the catch-up from another Super Saturday which gave us 6 new entries, and it has finally taken me to Armenia, who will be represented by Parg, I believe. The song is called Survivor, and I honestly don't think I've heard much about the Armenian selection this year. I know they don't usually go for a national final. For some reason this year they decided to return to those roots, and the victor was Parg. Do not know what to expect from this song, but it's interesting to see a solo male, another one enter the mix just after reacting to Kyle Alessandro just a few days ago. Armenia, another one of my favourite nations at Eurovision, I would say. Another one that I would file under that category, the same as I said for Lithuania the other day, that you don't really know what you're going to get from them. Last year was a perfect example of that. I was going into Ladaniva's entry completely blind, and I was shocked and was open mouth for like 3 minutes. But that was one of the most feel-good entries of the year. Such a great song, and I'm very intrigued to see how Armenia and their public want to see them progress from such a revolutionary entry as Yaka. I want my mind to be blown again. Not asking too much, you know. But hey, I've got a non-alcoholic cocktail up already and I'm ready to go. But as ever, before we do begin, I am going to ask that you do subscribe to this channel. We surpassed 800 finally for the first time just a few days ago, but I've got so many more videos taking us all the way through to Basel in May. So if you want to join me along for a camp old time, that's what you're going to get on this channel. So give that subscribe button a hammer, give this video a like, comment, hit the bell for notifications. You know the drill because you've heard it a million times already. Or not, if this is your first time visiting. If so, hello. Yes, this is the national final performance of Armenia's entry. This is Survivor by Parg. Let's hit play. Bit of a heavy intro. A very gravelly, angry voice. Also, pausing that here, 12 points for Parg. Whatever the song sounds like, 12 points for Parg. More armour, what's with the men in armour? Luckily the song sounds nothing like an Norway song. This has a much like angrier feel than a lot that we've heard so far. I was going to say, this needs to go somewhere interesting, or I hope that's not the chorus, but I like this. I like where we're headed now. This is angsty. Full throttle. His voice is going to take some getting used to. I can't tell, he sounds a little bit off key to me, but it can be forgiven because this vocal style is kind of shouty. I like his confidence though. He's giving this performance everything and I love to see that. No holding back. To me, his vocal leaves a bit to be desired. It sounds a little bit breathy and pitchy. It's in points like an Imagine Dragons song. I'm loving his attack. For all that I can criticise his vocals being a bit pitchy, the performance is on it and he's absolutely attacking it, performing it with every fibre of his being, and I love to see that. It is anthemic. First of all, smash.
Be still my beating vagina.
I mean, it's interesting that I said at the beginning I wonder how this will match up to Norway's song, because thematically it is almost exactly the same. It's another song about being a warrior, a fighter, a survivor, and dressed in armour. But it definitely takes a different route to it. Obviously Kyle Alessandro's song was a lot dancier. This is going heavier, this is going rockier. I kind of had positives and negatives for this. I'm not like overwhelmed, I'm like pleasantly pleased. In terms of Armenia going for something different, I feel like it's a bit safer than I'd usually hear from them. There's nothing about this entry that screams Armenia for me. It could be sent by, I don't know, Denmark or many of the Scandinavian countries. There's nothing that really screams, oh, I'm learning about Armenia here. The vocals weren't amazing. The song did have a bit of a dated feel, as I said at points. It reminded me of Imagine Dragons. And I felt like their sound is very of like a mid-2010s vibe, not so much 2025. But all the same, I really did enjoy the kind of power that it came through with, and I can see this being a favourite of the locals. I've got a feeling that this won't be a massive fan favourite within the community because it lacks kind of originality, but I think it's kind of got that thing about it which I can imagine just your mums at home sitting and being like, this is an attractive man who's performing with some oomph, giving it some real attack, there's a rocky edge to it. Parg feels like a man, a sexy man at that, and I can definitely see this being a favourite for those who are not looking for something too unique and crazy, but just for that sort of song that they can sing along to, performed decently enough. I think this fills that void. I'm thinking like an Andrew Lambrou kind of type. Break a Broken Heart wasn't blowing anyone's mind, but it was competent enough by a good looking man who performed it 100%. The staging was giving fire, it was giving sex, it was giving angst. Parg is giving me that in a much rockier sense, albeit, but I think it will have the same appeal, and I do see this qualifying for those reasons. I could even see this left-hand side of a board. I think this might be a surpriser. I think this might be one of those cases where the fans are not understanding why it's going down so well, but I do think it's got casual appeal. And it's got appeal for me too. As I said, I criticised a fair few things about it at the beginning, but there was plenty to like. I was surprised when we hit him with such a hard rock element, but it's not something you hear all that much at Eurovision, and I really enjoyed it. I love that Parg absolutely gave it absolutely everything, and as a performer, as I say, for whatever he lacks in vocals being completely on point, because they weren't, he definitely makes up for it in performance. The aggression that it was performed with, the way that he absolutely punched into every single move, it all matched with that kind of shaky camera and the fire and the way that the staging was set up, and I knew exactly what he was trying to deliver, and as a performer, he delivered it absolutely spot on. It's almost like if Achille Lauro for San Marino a few years ago actually created a cohesive song that didn't sound like a shrieking mess. This could be a shrieking mess. It steers just well enough into the mainstream to avoid that. I actually think I'm going to like this more than the rest of the community is going to, but only if Parg can show up with better vocals in Basel. Not wowed, but it is enough. Just. That's what I think, but what do you think? Let me know down below. Are you on board with this like me, or is this just not quite what you want from an Armenian entry? I'm always open to hearing all opinions, so let me know down below and let's have a discussion about it. But for now, thank you so much for watching, sending love to Armenia, and I hope to see you in the final again, although I do say that about almost every entry. All that being said, good night, God bless, and I'm a survivor, staying alive, I guess.